one of a kind. There's nobody like him that can do everything that he's able to do at his size. And my job is to make sure I continue to push him each day, each practice, each games, where he can be at the top of his game each and every night. He's been in this league a long time, so he understands how to play the game. He knows when he needs to turn up, and I know now he wants to turn it up. So it's my job to make sure that that's up every single night.
All right, starting with you. Now we're talking some basketball. Now we're talking the fun stuff. Yes, that which we all love. Who should Westbrook be pushing more? Is it Anthony Davis or is it Westbrook?
I think he can do both. I don't know why. Look, Russell Westbrook is the ultimate competitor. By the way, Russell Westbrook did call Anthony Davis the ultimate weapon, Stephen A. Right? And let's talk about what happened to AD last year. Missed 36 games due to injuries. But I want you to know something about AD. AD has a talent to be one of the best to ever do it.
Yes.
But last year, career low in rebounds, fewest blocks, field goal percentage, and free throw line percentage. 21.8 points per game marked his lowest scoring average since his second year in the league.
Yep.
So if there's a reason why you're bringing Russ over to this team, yes, because of his pace, because of his aggression in which he can play, but also because of that mentality. And now what LeBron James has in his back pocket, instead of LeBron James always having to be that cop to try to push AD, or when he's not around to get AD to see the bigger picture, now you have guys like Russell Westbrook. Now you guys have like Rondo. I'm not taking any accountability away from Russell Westbrook for Russell Westbrook because he does have accountability for that. But I like the leadership and that mentality he brings to this team.
I have no problem with it, but I think that Russell Westbrook is a plus, not a minus, and I applaud his mentality. I love his fire. Y'all know that. What I would tell you is that the focus right now has to be on Anthony Davis in this regard. Russell Westbrook talked about it, and maybe it was because it was a question thrown to him by the media, and we understand that. Anthony Davis has literally had about 50 injuries in his career. 50. Anthony Davis has missed about 155 games in his career. Where I stand is that somewhere along the line, when Russell Westbrook talks about him turning it up, Anthony Davis had to acknowledge that's something you didn't do in the past. And that's where we get to Anthony Davis. What possible excuse could you have? What did I say last year? When I was concerned about the Lakers, they were walking around town because, as you know, I do get to L.A.
Quite often
these days, okay?
We know. You're bi-coastal.
I do
You're
get to
fancy. We know.
I do get to L.A.
Everyone, Stephen A. has multiple homes. We know.
No. I'm just saying, all I'm saying, I ain't going all that. I'm just telling you I frequent L.A.
Oh,
and I love it. I mean, I play the song I Love L.A. every morning. I mean, I just do.
Geez.
Okay, here's the deal. You won the title. What were you doing in the offseason? You see, at moments like this, as critical as we can be of LeBron James from time to time, this is when we need to step back and pay homage to LeBron. This is why he's on the Mount Rushmore, to the Kobes, to the MJs, or whatever. They're the marquee. They're the headline. And there's an innate internal responsibility that they feel to answer the call. So it's not just about my ability. It's about making sure that I'm in shape. It's about making sure that I maximize my potential and that I'm ready for all comers as an individual because everyone's looking at me. And my response to that is, how could you have a teammate like LeBron that just helped deliver you your first title ever? And I'm not insulting Anthony Davis. I'm asking a question because it's something that I would ask him to his face. If you didn't do all you could physically to have yourself in peak condition, how could you allow that to happen to you when you know you playing with a champion? You playing with a guy that the bullseye is perpetually on his back. How could you have that slippage? And so it's great that Russell Westbrook is there. Russell Westbrook's chasing the ring too now. But we've never looked at Russell Westbrook and said durability is an issue, conditioning's an issue. Only time we ever question Russell Westbrook's conditioning in his career is when the brother came down with COVID.
I agree with you. I agree with you to an extent.
Okay.
But I do want to provide you some cover on this.
Please.
The last 2 seasons have been condensed seasons, and they've been quick turnarounds.
Okay.
So for AD's body, I hear what you're saying.
Right.
Some of the things that I've heard about training and taking that seriously in the offseason, putting on that flexibility, that weight, body muscle-wise. But there is something to be said about playing the amount of games they played in those condensed times and the time they've had off in between.
You know what? And I'll throw this back at you. I know LeBron is a freak of nature.
Yeah.
But I would be pretty embarrassed if a dude that is older than me is consistently in better shape than me when we have the same profession. That would bother me.
Well, that's luck, though, Stephen A. too now.
Again, I'm not talking, injuries happen. I'm talking about conditioning. I'm talking about you roll up in and you ready. Last year, you know he wasn't. You covered the NBA. You know he wasn't ready at the start. And that's on him. And I love Anthony Davis. He's one, I think Anthony Davis has the potential to be, he is one of the all-time greats. He truly is. And he's a great player, great guy. All I'm trying to say is that you got to know when LeBron James is your teammate, that brother is likely going to need you as the season wanes because he's expecting to go deep in the playoffs. You got to be ready, man. You got to be ready. And last year, a few Lakers were not ready.
Agreed. I agree with you on that.
And that is inexcusable when LeBron James is your teammate because if nothing else, physically, that brother is going to be ready.
Was an all-time high in injuries last season for a lot of players. That's all.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying.
Okay. I'm not talking about this last year.
No.
And LeBron talked
Okay.
about that too, the short offseason. You're 100% right. Warriors at Lakers, October 19th, this time with Klay Thompson. And obviously, Russ will be on the court. Can't wait. Lakers' second best odds to win the title behind the Brooklyn Nets.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.